Between 1998 and 2002, a major event occurred in the Great Barrier Reef which changed it forever. Over the past 17 years, sea surface temperatures have risen by over 1 degree Celsius over the Great Barrier Reef. In 1998, a global mass bleaching event where over 50% of the Great Barrier Reef's corals suffered bleaching occurred. During this year, the sea surface temperature of the Great Barrier Reef was the highest ever recorded and sustained this for almost 4 months. Due to this, almost 5% of the entire reef was destroyed forever. Warmer water temperatures can result in coral bleaching. When the seawater becomes too warm, corals will get rid of the algae that lives within its tissue, causing the coral to turn completely white. This algae is known as zooxanthellae. If the water temperature returns to normal temperatures after a few weeks, for example, then the coral will be able to regain the relationship between itself and the algae. However, if the water temperature of the seas stays at a higher temperature for a long period of time, for example, after a few months, then the coral will completely die and new algae will grow on it. And changes to solar light. Most coral bleaching occurs in the summer, as there is significant change in the level of photosynthetic active radiation and ultraviolet radiation. For example, though we can wear caps when we're walking through sunlight, coral do not have any defense against the harmless sunlight. Excessive solar light causes the coral to die of heat stroke. Some are as simple as sunscreen washing off your body into the ocean. 4,000 to 6,000 metric tons of sunscreen annually washes off into the sea. They are both chemical and physical sun-blocking agents in commercial sunscreens that can affect coral bleaching. This is a claim made by The Age. Major bleaching, where algae leaves the coral because of heat, turning the coral white, happened in 1998 and 2002. Scientists linked this to climate change. Sea surface temperatures in many Australian tropical regions have increased by almost 1 degree Celsius. In 1998, a global mass bleaching event occurred where over 50% of the Great Barrier Reef's coral suffered bleaching and over 5% was damaged permanently. Zooxanthellae leaves coral due to an increase in sea surface temperatures as it cannot survive in these conditions. The world bleaching event in 1998 and 2002 was one of the worst ever seen, and most scientists would link this to significant changes in the climate and due to global warming. Some scientists argue that global warming isn't real. They say that an El Niño caused the coral bleaching events in 1998 and 2002. Dr. Andrew Baker, head of America's Coral Research Laboratory, says bleaching may be how a coral adapts, by expelling one of the algae that helped it thrive to make room for a better one. A recent gathering of ecological scientists showed that 99% of these people don't believe in a catastrophic man-made global warming event. There are 5 main arguments that scientists use to prove that global warming isn't real. Number 1. There has been no significant and prolonged temperature changes since 1997. Number 2. There's not enough historical data available to prove that global warming is real. Number 3. Arctic ice has actually increased by 50% since 2012, which argues against the fact that global warming is causing the polar ice caps to melt. Number 4. Climate models used are proven to be unreliable. The climate models currently being used to predict the effect of global warming have been proven to be flawed, which means that the long-term predictions they have made are meaningless and non-accurate. And number 5. Early predictions about effects of global warming have been proven wrong. For example, Al Gore predicted that all Arctic ice would be gone by 2013, but in fact it has increased by 50% since 2012. How can the application of science be used to help global warming? Firstly, we need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 50% by the year 2050. Most skeptic scientists often argue that we don't simply have the technology necessary to reduce emissions this quickly. However, Picala and Socolo in 2004 investigated this claim by examining various technologies available to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Every technology they examined has passed beyond the laboratory bench demonstrated project. Many are already implemented somewhere at full-scale industry. The study used the concept of a stabilization wedge, in which a wedge represents activity that reduces emissions to the atmosphere by a certain amount. The study identifies 5 current topics which could be scaled up to produce at least one wedge. 1. Improved fuel economy. 2. Reduced reliance on cars. 3. More efficient buildings. 4. Improved power plant efficiency. 5. Substituting natural gas for coal.
That's all, folks.